Integrity. What does that word mean to you? For most people, it means a person who lives honorably, a person who walks her talk, a person who stands up for something that they feel is right. And yet, our culture is filled with disintegration. We build societies where we're all battling each other, we're fighting wars, we're polluting the earth, we're buying products made by slaves halfway across the globe. It's my theory that all of this disintegration, this global disintegration, comes about because we ourselves have no integrity inside. Now, that's not saying we're bad people. We probably have a certain amount of integrity. You know, we're really good with our children, or we really try to do things in a timely fashion at work. We do try to stand up when we see injustice. I don't think it's enough. I think we need more. Ancient peoples talked about this all the time. In the Katha Upanishads, they talk about the horse, the carriage, the driver, and the master. So the carriage is the body. It carries us through the world, literally, right? It is our health, our integration with the body, and it is fed by exercise, good food, rest, sex, all those basic human activities that we need. And we all know when we're out of alignment with the body. You know, we know when we've been sitting in the computer too long and we have turtle head, right? And our posture suffers, and so we're not taking in enough breath and air to fuel our brains properly. We know when we're not eating well, when we're working too hard and not getting enough rest. But then, after acknowledging that, we can acknowledge also these horses that pull the carriage. The horses of our emotions and our emotional states, and the horses of sensory information. What are we taking in? What are we feeding our senses with? Are we feeling overwhelmed by that? Are we numbing ourselves down with that? And what's that doing to our emotions? Are our emotions racing ahead from worry or planning too far and trying to control the outcome, causing tension? Are they lying still in apathy because it's just too much? The weight of the world is too great and we've just fallen over? And what effect does that then have on the body, on the carriage? The driver is our intellect. The driver is all the things we think, all the parts of our personality that like to say, I'm the driver, I'm in charge. And of course that changes minute to minute. And this part of self doesn't agree with that part of self. And so they each just do their own thing. I'll give you an example. Years ago, when I was young, I was about 19, and I was a young anarcho-feminist punk who decided to work on the Pacific Stock Options Exchange to try to learn more about the US economic system. I remember one day I was standing talking with an options trader, and I said, this was in the early 80s, I said, how can you trade stock in this Dutch Afrikaner company that is fueling the machine of apartheid and injustice? And he very proudly said to me, commerce should be free of politics. Well, even at 19, I knew that was impossible. But something greater happened to me in that moment. A light bulb flashed in my head, a light went on, and I thought, this man is completely disintegrated. He's one person at work. He's one person at temple on Friday. He's yet another person buying sticky buns with his girlfriend on Sunday morning. And those men never met. They never shook hands. They never said, hey, wait a minute. What am I really doing with my life? And what impact is that having on the world at large? We see this all the time. I was so excited when the iPad came out. I'd been waiting for a tool such as this to be invented for a long time. The day after I purchased my iPad 1, news came out about the suicides of the workers in the Chinese factory that made the iPad. And I thought, here we go again. Disintegration. So I firmly believe that integrity, global healing, and a greater connection with the environment, with humans all over the globe, with the animals, the trees, the water, the soil, with the stars themselves, with the cosmos, comes from our attempts to first integrate ourselves. If I can start to know my parts and how I am in disintegrity, then I certainly am going to start to notice when I'm not in integrity at work, in my community, in my government, in my buying practices, in my waste disposal practices, in all the choices I make as a citizen, as a human, as a friend. So that brings me to the coordinating principle here. And the coordinating principle is what spiritual people might call the God-soul, divine connection. The rest of us can also call it the genius, or just connection to the cosmos, connection to something greater than ourselves, the knowledge that we are not alone here. And yet we are not just singular beings. When our parts work in greater concert with each other, they connect with what I call the macrocosmic soul, the macrocosmic self, that master from the Katha Upanishads. We have a chance now to revolutionize culture. People are waking up all over the world. But we have to start with ourselves every day. And then every day, bring this greater integration into every interaction we have, into every choice we make. I invite you to take in breath with me as a way to bring ourselves into greater alignment, integrity, and wholeness. Every time we breathe in life. Every time we exhale connection with everything else. So take in one long breath to honor your physical body that carries you through the world. And take in a breath to honor your animal nature, your instincts, your senses, your emotions, and bring them on board. Take in a breath to honor your intellect, your rational soul, your ability to communicate, and all those parts that say, I am. Bring them all together by breathing in and out. And last, take in a breath for your connection to the cosmos, your connection to your deep wisdom, to your divine nature, to the macrocosm. And breathe that up, sending out a breath of connection and feeling yourself whole, all of your parts aligned for this moment, and feel what is possible. With integrity, the power of connection and integration, we can change ourselves, and we can help each other change the world. Thank you.